The same old Mets were going to come back at some point. I mean, we weren't going to last much longer with great health and, stacked up depth. And, it was going to all come crumbling down at some point. I mean, we rocked this orange and blue every single day, knowing what comes with it. And the next big blow has come to Francisco Alvarez, who is now pronounced out 6 to 8 weeks because he has to get surgery on his hand, and it just blows. I mean, we were expecting so much out of this guy coming into this year, um, and he's been our number one prospect for a while before he got pulled up, and I mean we were expecting such big things, and I mean, look, thankfully this happens in the beginning of the year and not like right before the playoffs or, it can always be worse, right? It can always be worse. You guys always have to think about that when it comes to especially long term injuries like this. Spring training hasn't even happened yet, or I'm sorry, spring training hasn't even finished up yet. Trades are still happening, signings are still happening. A band aid could be put on this, but yeah, so like I said, Francisco Alvarez has been pronounced out 6 to 8 weeks because he has to get surgery on his hand. He fractured a bone in his wrist, about like right here that forms up the wrist joint, and yeah, he has to get surgery on it. So I'm gonna give an update of all the things going on with Mets injuries and what this means for their roster going forward for the rest of spring training. What is going on, everybody? Welcome on in to this new edition of Mets Digest with your host Michael DeAngelo, as you see on the screen. Before I get started, I gotta ask that you guys please hit that subscribe button down below. We are at a little under 4,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button. As soon as we hit 4K, I'm going to be doing a big giveaway for you guys on my Twitter. I'm going to drop my Twitter as soon as we hit 4K, and I will post up the giveaway for you. Make sure you guys do it and get it done quickly because I leave tomorrow. I'm going back home for a little bit. I'll still be recording videos, but I would like to hit 4K before I hop on that plane. So help me out. Help yourselves out so that I can give away some cool Mets related items to you guys. And yeah, me and Flobo Boys have been killing everything so far. Here to start in spring training. Spring training is the time for everyone to get ramped up. We got to get ramped up too. So I got to learn how to get videos out quicker to you guys. And yeah, so let's get started. So this was the official announcement from Jeff Passan saying that Alvarez will be needing to repair a fractured left hamate, I don't know, yeah, hamate bone, and will be out for 6 to 8 weeks. Mets. Carlos Mendoza reported it himself and basically said it happened during live ABs and during his second plate appearance, and he said he felt something. Trainers took him to get X-rays, and that's when it revealed the fracture. So just a big blow to a guy who was going to be, who is a very, very important piece of this roster and on this team. I mean, he, like I said before, he has been our number one prospect for a very long time before he got pulled up. Everyone is super hyped about him coming into the season. Look, I know he had a very down year to say. I mean, he kind of hit his sophomore, very prototypical sophomore slump. Only hitting 11 home runs last year. He's very known for his power, but the defense is what we're going to miss the most. I mean, look, this guy coming up to the majors was known for the big time power that he possesses and how, he is going to be a long-time franchise catcher because of just what he can do on both sides of the plate. And even with the depleted hitting stats, his defense made up for it each and every single time he went back out there. And that is what impressed me the most about him and what really provides that value. I mean, he's only 23 years old. He's going to stick around for a while. The Mets are definitely going to be looking to extend him at some point. We don't know when that's coming. They have to worry about other guys first, but I mean, look, I'm heartbroken. I mean, I was so excited to watch Francisco Alvarez this season, but hey, 6 to 8 weeks, he'll be back. I'm sure he'll have to go on a minor league rehab assignment first. Um, but this is nothing that he's not used to. I mean, he's gone through this before with hand injuries. Those things are made of glass. I think those things are made of glass at this point. I mean, it sucks to say, but um, look, he'll be back sooner or later. What we have to worry about right now is that Luis Torrens is the only catcher that is on the 40-man roster. The only other catcher that is on the 40-man roster right now. And look, for the role that he was in and what he provided in the short sampling size that that he was out there during the times that Alvarez was hurt last season, I mean, there was nothing you could really complain about. He provided great, great innings off the bench, and came through with a lot of clutch hits. And you couldn't really ask for more of what he was doing. I mean, look, he 292 on. He was getting on base. I know he was hitting like eighth or ninth in that order, getting on base. Had some clutch hits, and we're glad to have him back. I mean, we should be super happy to have Luis Torrens back. The only thing to worry about now is him and Francisco Alvarez are the only two catchers that are on the 40-man roster. Other guys, there's like four others that are, spring that are invited to spring training, um, and we don't know if we're gonna just, sign someone to a minor league deal, or in the free agent market, or whether we should bring somebody up from our spring training invite. The name that interests me the most is Kevin Parada. Now, Kevin Parada was in our top 15 prospects for a very long time, for about 3 years, and since last year, kind of plateauing, and really showing no signs of improvement since being pulled up to Double A. He was basically booted out of the top 30. He's not even our top 30 anymore. And he's pretty much going to be in Double A this year. And can he win a job up to the major leagues? I'm very interested in seeing. I mean, there's other guys. We have Triple A catchers as well that we have covered in the past signing. And a lot of them, they're going to get a shot. And I think at this point you should look for outside resources, possibly for another catcher. But I haven't really watched any of the other catchers swing the bat or be behind the plate at all, so I don't really know what any of those guys can provide at this point. But Kevin Parada has a chance to boost his development. He could be pulled up to AAA right away just because of how short we are in catcher depth now. And he's been involved in a lot of trade talks, especially recently, with looking to get pitchers, and this whole off season. So we don't know whether if we're gonna go out and sign someone, or this all just happened. So I'm sure the Mets are very shocked about all this news coming in, and there's still some time left to fill that role. And Luis Torrens is that guy right now, but hopefully there's someone out there on the market that they can go out and grab real quick on a minor league deal. And this is basically why you don't sign Jose Iglesias. I mean, of course, as much as we want him back, you have to save some dollars for something like this. And you want experience in the end, through and through. As much as we would love to see the young guys come up and try to make an impact, you need experience, because we got to start winning ball games, so that we can get in playoff position. So when injuries like this happen, we're not, scrambling. So in other injury news to keep up to date, Brandon Nimmo, I'm going to switch to this one. Brandon Nimmo, is going to be out for a couple days. He received a gel injection in his knee. Not really like a cortisone shot, just kind of like, a gel injection. And he's going to be out for, I think they said 48 to 72 hours. So this is something to definitely look at, going into opening day. Is this something that's going to linger for him? And, we know Brandon Nimmo has had his injury troubles all throughout his career. And, he was dealing with it all last season. He was playing practically playing hurt the entire second half of the season. So to see this already, where he's already dealing with issues with his lower body and having to receive injections, and it's only spring training, I'm not gonna lie, it does worry me. And I know outfield depth has been acquired. We have Jesse Winker for the corners. We have Jose Siri for center field. Luis Angel Acuna Jr. can play out in center field too. Um, it just scares me because he's had injuries throughout his whole career. He's known as an Iron Man of always being out there for the Mets, but especially during those last couple days of the playoffs where it was hard to watch him in the box try to swing the bat with the injuries that he was dealing with. It's I don't really like the way that this is going, but at this point, I think you should just shut him down for the rest of spring training. Maybe give him a few more at bats on the last couple days, but I think that they should just shut him down because you need Brandon Nimmo out there every single game because you're going to need him to play not only in left field, but sometimes you're going to need him to play back in center field again. And sometimes Francisco Lindor is going to need his nights off, and you're going to need another leadoff hitter. And we know Brandon Nimmo is a very good leadoff hitter. So we need him out there, and I think they should just shut him down. But that's just my opinion. What do I know? That is all I have for you guys here today on Mets Digest. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the Francisco Alvarez injury and what they should do about it. And let me know about anything else. Please get me to 4K so I can do this giveaway for you guys. I love giving back to you guys. I love doing giveaways. So let's hit 4K so I can do that for y'all. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day, everybody.